Mr. Braley for questions, please.
Thank you. I want to follow up on my friend from Oklahoma's questions about the culture of safety at BP, Mr. Hayward, because you have stated repeatedly that since you took over as CEO of BP, that safe, reliable operations are #1 priority, correct?
That is correct.
And you've been CEO for the past 3 years, correct?
Correct.
Then explain to us why, between June of 2007 and February of 2010, Occupational Health and Safety Administration checked 55 oil refineries operating in the U.S. 2 of those 55 are owned by BP, and BP's refineries racked up 760 citations for egregiously willful safety violations, accounting for 97% of the worst and most serious violations that OSHA monitors in the workplace. That doesn't sound like a culture of safety.
We acknowledge we had very serious issues in 2005 and 2006.
Well, I'm not talking about 2005 and 2006. I'm citing from an OSHA study between June of 2007 on your watch and February of 2010, where OSHA said BP has a systemic safety problem. And of those 760 that were classified as egregious and willful, it's important to note that that is the worst violation that OSHA can identify. And their definition is a violation committed with plain indifference to or intentional disregard for employee safety and health. 97% of all of those egregious violations at U.S. refineries on your watch were against your company. That doesn't sound like a company that, to use your words, is committed to safe, reliable operations as your #1 priority. There's a complete disconnect between your testimony and the reality of these OSHA findings. Do you understand that?
I understand what you're saying.
So we also had Mr. Barton earlier make this comment about what happened at the White House yesterday. Were you there for that conference with the White House?
I was.
Do you think that BP was shaken down by the Obama administration to come up with this $20 billion compensation fund?
We attended the White House at the invitation of the government to form a way forward and try and work together to deal with the leak, the response to the leak, and to make return the Gulf Coast to its past. And that's what we're going to do.
And I realize that we speak the same language, but it's not always the same language when we speak English in the United States and English in Great Britain. So I want to make sure I'm clear on this. Here in this country, the word shaken down means somebody in a position of disadvantage is forced to do something against their will. Is that how you viewed these negotiations at the White House yesterday?
As I said, we came together to figure out a way of working together to resolve what is clearly a very, very serious situation.
And the reason you came together, sir, is because it was not only in the best interest of the United States taxpayers and the citizens of this country, it's also in the best interest of BP to try to get this problem solved so that it can move forward. Isn't that true?
It's undoubtedly true that we would like to resolve this issue, as would everyone else here and more broadly in this country.
When the ranking member referred to this compensation fund, which I applaud as a positive step forward, as a slush fund, I want you to know that in this country, that implies a very negative connotation as something illegal, below the surface of what's acceptable. Did you consider this compensation fund for people who had lost their lives, lost their businesses, lost their environment, lost their ability to earn? Did you consider that to be a slush fund?
As we said yesterday, the fund is a signal of our commitment to do right, to ensure that individuals, fishermen, charter boat captains, small hotel owners, everyone who's been impacted by this is kept whole. That is what I have said from the very beginning of this, and that is what we intend to do. And as I said in my testimony, I hope people will now see that we are good for our word.
And can we take that as a no in response to my question, sir, that you did not consider this to be a slush fund?
I certainly didn't think it was a slush fund,
Thank you.
Congressman.
I'll yield back.